everybody, welcome to the show. Today we're going to continue looking at my mix process. But first, coffee. No coffee. Please remember that this series details my current mix process. There's lots of ways to do this, and your way is probably different than mine, and that's okay. But let's discuss those differences in the comments below so that we can both learn from each other. We've already level balanced all the tracks and organized our session. Today, we're gonna look at just the levels and panning on the various instruments. The first thing I wanna do is actually step back from the mix a little bit and look at the band. In this particular band, I have guitar, bass, drums, vocals, and an organ. What I like to do is picture a stage. Not like a full picture of a stage like this, but just the idea of a stage, something like this. And then I place the various instruments on that stage in my mind, and I end up getting something like this. Now, when I'm setting my levels and panning, I can make small adjustments to the left, right, and to the loudness to put the instruments in the audio scope the same place they are in my picture of that stage in my mind. It helps me create a much fuller mix to work this way. I'm a visual person, so if I can see things in my head, it really helps me with what I'm trying to do, be it audio or visual or even just completing tasks. We're gonna start setting our levels and panning with this stage setup in mind. Kush After Hours recently did a show on using three-dimensional mixing. There's a card right here and a link in the description. I'm talking about two of those three dimensions in this video. Level is gonna move you front and back, and you gotta be very careful to make very small steps with your level, otherwise you can end up losing things in the mix or drowning other things out very, very easily. Panning moves things from left to right. You get a little more freedom here. You can go a little farther here. I can put something all the way on the left if I want, and as long as it works there, it's not gonna negatively impact the listening experience. It might even enhance it. I can also use both the left, right, and the front, back to pop things out in the mix when they need to be popped out, like for a solo. But I would do that with automations, which are covered much later in this series. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is pull all my individual instrument tracks down to roughly -6 dB. This will maintain the balance between the tracks, but give me plenty of room to turn what I'm currently working on up. I have to make sure that none of the tracks that are turned all the way down are selected, otherwise this will turn them up. There I am using that Control-M shortcut again. The talking intro is very quiet, but the singing is not. So I can either use volume automation later or split the track now and process them individually. I decide to split the track now. I'm going to highlight the entire song except for the introduction. This allows me to loop the song and skip the introduction since I'm going to process that separately from the rest of the song. This is another handy keyboard shortcut, Control plus number pad plus. It automatically adjusts the zoom and scrolls the window so that whatever is highlighted pretty much fills the screen. I'm going to start with the drums. The drums are the foundation of the song. They need to be put in first. The kick and snare aren't punching through enough, so I have to adjust their levels to fix this. to bring up the rooms and pan them. Listen closely and you'll hear everything fill out at this point, the drums especially. This is the part where I forget that the overheads are on a bus and lay them into the set mix with their individual sliders. I'll fix this later. Since I play the drums, I always struggle to mix them from the audience perspective. I panned Tom 1 the wrong way at first because of this. But when I forget and mix from the drummer perspective, it ends up sounding like a left-handed drummer. Now I'm going to lay the drums into the mix. I start by taking them out completely and then bringing them in. I do this with drums because I like drums. I like drums a lot. So if I turn them down until they feel good to me, they are always too loud. Put the bass in only because it's the easiest instrument. There's no panning involved, only the level. Since I have two guitar mics, I'm going to hard pan them and make it seem like stereo amps. It'll help the mix be more spacious. Instead of panning the guitar with the pan on the bus, I just turn one of the speakers up a little bit. It creates the same effect, and it mimics my diagram since the left amp is slightly less angled away from the audience. Now for the organ. I've got 3 mics on it, so I pan and level balance them. Then I create the pan effect on the organ the same as I did on the guitar, but it's to the right this time. The vocals are not cutting the mix enough. It's most likely because there's a lot of bleed in his mic. So when I turn him up, I turn everyone up. I'm going to use a doubling trick. I'll double the track and hard pan them, then I'll put a very quick single repeat delay with no dry signal on one side to pull them apart. This should put him front and center in the mix. The vocals aren't loud enough. I first turned them up, but because my master meters are so close to zero already, I decide better of that and turn everything else down. I initially turned down all the buses, which messes up my drum set mix. So I use Ctrl+Z to undo my last change, and then unhighlight the sub buses of the drum bus and turn everything down that way. Now I'm going to work on the introduction. Basically, I'm just going to make it a lot louder and not worry too much about it right now.
All right, and we're off. Hey everyone, what's going on? We're the Alan Evans Trio A3 live here in
I couldn't get it loud enough with the slider, so I'm going to add an EQ and just turn the output up 7 dB.
We're here to play some music, have some fun, and this is how we do it. This first tune is a love song.
A horrible echo showed up when I did that. This means that they're playing somewhere with a lot of natural reverb. I need to remember that for later.
Rolling, 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 rolling. All right, and we're off. Rolling, 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 rolling. All right, and we're off. Hey everyone, what's going on? We're the Alan Evans Trio A3 live here in Zeros and Ones digitally at Telefunken Studios in South Windsor, Connecticut. We're here to play some music, have some fun, and this is how we do it. This first tune is a love song. This one's called If You Want My Love, and why wouldn't you? 1, 2, 3.
I got the one from his count-in on the intro, but the rest on the song. So the 1 is going to be really loud and the 2, 3, 4 really soft. I have to move the 1 to the other vocal tracks, so I highlight it, place the playhead right before the 1, and then press S on the keyboard to split the track at the playhead. Then I highlight the part I want to move and press Ctrl X to cut it from the current track. Highlight each of the vocal tracks, then press Ctrl V to paste what I've cut onto the correct tracks.
It's a love song. This one's called If You Want My Love. And why wouldn't you?
Now I just listen for a little bit and see if anything needs more attention. It doesn't, so we're done with this step. So what do you think of the way that I handle levels and panning? What do you think of the whole process of trying to get a half-decent static mix without using plugins or very minimally using plugins? Basically just using the level and the panning to get a decent static mix going before we even try to get the final tones of things. What do you think of that process? Do you think that would work for you? Do you already do it that way? Or do you do it a different way? Let's discuss this in the comments below. Most importantly, did you learn anything about mixing today? And if so, what? Oh, thanks for watching! Don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring my bell, baby! Stay happy, stay healthy, and God bless. Have a great time, everybody.